Well, we have a unique pairing this week, and Heidi has been playing with Hunkydory's Raise a Glass topper pad and the textile fabrics and fibers. See what I mean? An interesting combination. Here's one of the projects that she did, and I've got more to show you, so please come play with us. Well, before I get into Heidi's designs, let me just tell you a little bit about the product. So the Whopper Topper Raise a Glass, it is thick. You can see all of this. There are 36 sheets. They're all foil. They're all die cut. There are 12 different designs. Now, in addition to the 4 that Heidi has used, let me show you what they are. So this is what Hunkydory means by these topper pads. So you can see the foiling. There's usually one large piece. You've got borders, you've got some greetings, so that's fun. So this is with the burger. And we have this one with the pool, and everything is, of course, color coordinated. And here is another, oops, sorry, backgammon, that's fun. And dominoes. And probably playing poker, maybe. Here's some darts and other things. Wine and cheese, so that's the glass. Oh, looks like I've got 2 of those. And finest a birthday chap with some looks like whiskey and scotch and some things. So again, there's 4 others. Going into the textile fabrics and fibers, this is an 8x8 paper pad. There are 48 sheets. You're going to get 4 each of 12 designs. In addition to those that Heidi's going to use, let me just show you what they look like. So they are double-sided. That looks fun with all the bubbles. And on the back side is this with a plaid. Here we have, and on the back side we've got a gray, lightly textured, lime green with a light blue texture on the other side. And this pink with kind of this mottled look. We've got some, looks like knit, and on the back side, and you can see the texture there, and on the back side, and this, and on the back side, and there's more. Okay, so that's what she had to get started. Now let me show you what she created. Here is the very first card. We'll get in closer so you can see. And I love what she has done here. One thing I want to point out is, in addition to the foiling, and you see that the she has put some crystal lacquer, excuse me, over what was in the glasses. And I think that's just a great technique you can do with all of these, or with so many of them anyway. So let me get started. This is a 6.5 by 5-inch card. And what she used was this product. So here is the sheet. Again, a large one, borders and greetings. And here are the 2 papers. One has the camouflage on the back side and this dark navy on the other side. And then this little blue dots. On the other side, she didn't use this, but that's what the other side is. So these 2 papers is what she combined together. Maybe I should show them to you that way. She also added an orange. This is the roasted pumpkin ink pad. So her step 1 was to take the roasted pumpkin and to edge it along the edges of her card, just to give that border look. So that worked well for her. And then she took this kind of a dark charcoal, I guess, I think. It's slightly smaller than the card itself. The measurements, by the way, are down below in the instructions. Just click on the cards and it'll give you the exact dimensions, because I'm not going to be saying them here. That's just kind of too much audio information to receive with a lot of fractions. So you can see that that's smaller. It was just glued right to the card. Then she took this blue dot and she matted it onto the gold glitter cardstock, and that kind of echoes the foiling that's going on. So she's got one sheet, and you can see how I'm laying it out here, and that was matted on the gold, only on 3 sides, because then she glued it right against the edge of the card. Then she took a smaller piece down here and also matted it on the gold glitter and glued that in place. Now this piece was also matted onto the gold glitter, so you simply, pop this little puppy out and glue it to the gold glitter, and then just go right along the edge and give that about 1/8 of an inch on all of those. that is going to get foam taped. You might want to do the crystal lacquer at any point in this. It does take a little bit of time for it to dry. So it's not something that you want to have laying out where someone is going to put their finger in it. So just want to allow that extra time. So you can do that at any point in the process. And then these two pieces were glued along on the topper, but foam taped on the outside edge. So that way they're going to be nice and flat. Then she added, because, you know, that's just not enough gold, she added some of our jewel dazzles. You can see that these are holographic, but when they get individually placed, they just add a bit of shine, as shown here. Now, the other thing that she has added is some ribbon. And Heidi absolutely loves, and I know you do too, the bow maker from Hunkydory. So she made the bow using the glimmer ribbons, and you can see that they too have a bit of shine, and you get all of those colors. Now, there are the jewel border dazzles. I just noticed they're here and here, but they're also kind of bubbling above the glasses. So as the champagne or whatever that is bubbling up, she's doing the same thing with the tiniest dazzles, and she's put them on the corners of the blue cardstock also. Now going inside, same idea, of course, without that large topper. So she's got the roasted pumpkin, ink pad on the edges. She's got that big charcoal in the center, and then two of the pieces looks similar size to what she did, and these are just matted on two long sides. Then you can see how the congratulations is there, and whoops. She did an interesting thing also. When she removed this time to celebrate, I can kind of show you here. Look at the piece that's left. Well, the woman very cleverly, and I don't think anyone has ever done this before. So let me just pop that out to show you. So this piece was placed over here, and smart woman noticed that, well, wait, she had this evacuated space that is foiled. So she simply trimmed it and foam taped it there. She did back it onto that charcoal looking, I've called that many different things, haven't I? But I'm going for charcoal at this moment. She matted it or glued it there, so she had a center to it, and then put the congratulations, foam taped that on top. Clever woman, I love that. Thank you, Heidi. And another bow has been sodded in place. So that is our very first card. A lot of things going on, a lot of techniques that you can use again and again, and that's something that we love. Okay, I'm going to go my next card. This too has some fun techniques. And in fact, let me open this up and you'll start to see what's going on. So we're going to do this, and we've got a great jukebox in the center. So let me show you how Heidi did this. To begin with, I'll show you what she used. So here is the topper out of the book. Now again, you have 4 of those. I think that's true. Yeah, you have 3 of those. So that's going to go a long way. Nice big arch. And here is that jean paper that you see here. Again, you get 4 of those sheets. On the back side, it is a darker kind of texture woven fabric, but we're working with the jeans this time. Now to make this card, we're going to do a couple of different things. So just notice that this is going to take more than 1 card. In fact, it's going to take 2. And let me show you what she did. And this is also in the instructions. So we're going to take 2 cards, and our cards come flat. They are scored in the center. So I'm just holding this one here. I kind of will fold it there so you can see that it's scored. So we've got 1 card. We're going to place this over here. Then I'm going to take the other card, and I'm going to measure 4.5 inches from the right-hand edge, and I'm going to make a line, and I'm going to cut that. That's going to give me another piece that is 5 inches and a half, okay, because I've cut this off at 4.5. That makes sense? So what we're going to end up doing then, so remember that's got a flap, And then we're going to glue it to the back of our other card. And we use the extra sticky tape to do that because it's very, well, it's extra sticky, so it's going to work really well. So 4.5 inches, cut it, put the extra sticky tape, attach it to the back of this card. Now, we have another step to do. And let me see, how did I do this magic? Okay, this is what I did. Okay, so we still have those two glued together. You with me? Then we're going to make those two flaps. So on these two outside panels, so notice we have 3 panels. On these two outside, we're going to measure and draw a line from the upper right to the lower left. On this one, same thing on this one, upper right, lower left. And then we're going to cut that, and we're going to remove this piece, and we're going to remove this piece because these are attached. So that works. So these two are going to go away, and what you will have is this card. Very neat. A good thing to remember. Heidi's given us a lot. So that's just a really super easy way to do it with just 2 cards. And we sell our cards in packs of 10, 20, 30, or the super value is 60. So that works nicely. Okay, now what Heidi did is she wanted a tan. Now you saw on the first card that she used an ink pad to create that roasted pumpkin. But this time she went into a paper pack and she used this one. And this is at the shore, and you see it's got all of the browns and greens and blues for the ocean. And so she took the tan and she cut a piece that was 5 by 6.5 inches, and then cut it on the diagonal and glued it to each of these flaps. Okay, now what to do with this blue jean paper? She cut one piece of paper that was 4 3/4 by 6. Did the same thing, cut it at a diagonal, and then you could just glue them to each of the corners, just like that. So it's just a super easy way to do it both times. Now you want to do the same thing to the inside of the card. You don't need to do the tan, but that same thing of having that 4 3/4 by 6 inches, and then cut it on the diagonal, and then that will fit into each of the corners if I place this correctly. And you can kind of hum like that. So there you go. So just make sure that you're cutting it on the side that you're going to have the image showing just the way you want to have it, okay? So that is super easy. 2 very simple steps to make this very fun card. So I'm going to go back to the front, and she did some interesting things which I really like. She took the border, there's actually 2 borders on this, the music one and the one that says just for you with music notes, and she glued them across both of the flaps, but then she's also going to trim this so that they will fit, and so that you can open your card. So she did that on the 2, but then she also took the thin line border in gold dazzles, and I think there's 61 here. That sounds right. Maybe it's 31. Okay, anyway, it's in the description. It's a bunch of them. And look what she did. I want to hold this up so you can really see. So she just put them at angles. So this is going here, down here, up here. So that's all going from the right-hand side. Then from the left-hand side, going up, going down, going across, and also going down. And just gave that really nice look. And I like having the 2 thicker borders, and then the thin line in the gold is just so pretty. Again, it's matching the foiling that's on those. She did take the It's Time to Rock and Roll, and it is foam taped, but only on the right-hand panel. And then she did something interesting with this bow, and I applaud her for it. She made the bow using the bow maker. This is the Orange and Peach Ribbon Collection. Now that may sound like an odd collection, but nonetheless, here they are. She tied her bow, and then she zotted only the tails down. Why? Well, because she wanted those to be firmly in place, because she wanted this to be able to kind of tuck under the bow, just like that. Isn't that nice? Just a nice detail. So many nice details. Now you can see these circles. Well, that is with the gold pearl jewel dazzles. We call them jewels because they are the circles kind of like jewels. And I think it's really fun how she did them. She did them in sets of 3 with the largest, the medium, and the small one. You can see it there. You can see it here and here. And so that worked really nicely. They kind of just run along those thin line dazzles. And I don't think I've seen that before, so good for you, Heidi. Okay, now on the inside, I'm going to lift that. So we already have this done. However, you want to have a thin line and some of the jewel, a thin line coming from the opposite direction and some jewel. Now here, she did the same of the, at the shore 12 by 12 solid paper, and cut a piece to fit on the inside. And then if you'll notice on this piece, there are 2 corners. Well, she simply glued them up there and then took out this wonderful arched jukebox and put it in the center. Now for right here, now she did use part of that border on the front, but she took 2 little pieces and glued them down here and then put this piece on top. So it kind of looks like it's going, but it's an optical illusion. Now this is saying happy birthday, and that was done with the addition of tiny words and phrases in black. And you can see this has got a gazillion of them. Happy birthday just fits perfectly. The little hearts fit nicely. And so that finishes this card, and I think it's really fun. I love the denim and the jukebox combination. Really, really fun. Okay, I have 2 more, and let me show you. Here we go. Now this is an easel card, and you can probably get an idea by the front of it, but she's used 2 different papers. However, they happen to be on the same sheet. So this is one side of the paper, wow, and here is the other side. You see how it's knitted? That's a really fun combination. So we've got a plaid and a knit. And so what she did, oh, and here is the topper sheet. So you can see that large one. Quite a few greetings, a large border, and then just a smaller border too. And Heidi is going to use practically everything, I think, on this one. And in addition, she has also done some matting, and you can really see that the matting was done on the gold metallic cardstock. So that worked nicely. And you know what? I'm going to pause for just a second because I don't see my puppy, and I will be right back. Everything is fine. Belle was just over the corner. Okay, so we're going to take this card and I'm going to fold it like this just so that you can see what's going on. So if you have these fold over on the left, then you're going to take this and you'll make your score line halfway across. So since this is 5 inches, that's 2.5. So you're just going to score it. And I just want you to kind of pay attention to this, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 pieces of this plaid, one that's going to go here and the other one that's going to go on the other side of that panel. So although this is folded in a mountain, Heidi wanted to cover, of course, this one, but she also wanted to cover that one. So that works just fine. So she cut the piece and then she matted it on that gold metallic, glued one piece here and one piece there. So I'm going to ignore this one for right now, and I'm just going to turn this one so that you can see. Now, as I said, on this sheet, there is a smaller border, and what she did was to cut it in half and glue one piece at each end, because she knew that this piece was going to be really the focal, of course, and that this border wouldn't fit across the whole 6.5 inches of that card. So she simply cut it in half, glued a piece on each side. Now, this whole piece was foam taped at the top. It's left unattached at the bottom. so that it can do this, okay? Now before we leave this, I wanted to show you the brown pack of ribbons, and she used the crepe ribbon in here, and the crepe I love because it makes beautiful bows, especially with the bow maker. Zotted that on the top. And then she also went back to the same gold pearl jewel dazzles that she used on the last card and added some along the edge of this and in the corner. Notice that there's 3 just on this front piece. Now we're going to go to the inside, and the inside is going to have the reverse of the plaid, which is the knit. And she cut the piece and then again matted it on the gold. And she took the May Your Days Be Filled with Good Times and Laughter and has 2 layers of foam tape. So puts 1 layer down and then puts another piece of foam tape on top of it, places her greeting there. She uses the double because that's going to make a really good stopper for that easel card. Then there is another one that's left, Relax and Unwind, and that one is foam tape just with 1 layer, and it's just down here in the corner. She's added the jewel dazzles in the corners again in the triple piece, and just on the corners also of these greetings. So the card is going to rest like so, and just do a really nice job. I like having the 2 of them. I think that's a nice little statement. Usually we only get 1, but this works nicely. Okay, so that is our 3rd card. Now here is our last card, and this is the one I showed you at the beginning. And this has a unique opening that just works really, really well with this card. So let me show you. This is the topper set. So you get the idea that each of these sheets has a border, greetings, and multiple things that you can use on 1 card or on multiple cards. So that works nicely. The paper that she used has this kind of texture on one side, and on the other side it has these really fun dots, and she has used both sides. So to begin with, she has taken her card front, removed this, and glued it along the fold and just in the center of her card, and then opened up the card and then trimmed it to fit so that the rest of the front of the card has been disposed of, okay? Then on the inside of the card, she has covered it. And the way that we do that is to put your adhesive on all 4 edges and then place your paper along the score line and against one edge. That way, press it down, turn it over, and you're just trimming on 2 edges. And it is the perfect way to cover a sheet of cardstock with a paper, okay? Now, can you see the dots? I may have to get in a little bit closer, Jeanette. You can do that. Okay, you can really see them now. These are about 1/4 inch wide. There are 3 of them. And she has trimmed them again. These are the dots that are on this side, and glued 2 of them about 1/4 inch from the outside edge, and then 1/4 inch again. So you've got 2 on the left-hand side, 1 on the right. And then she took the long border and attached that down at the bottom, going over those. She also added these border dazzles, and this is the gold jewel border. And you can see they're going right along the board, those 1/4 inch strips. So that works nicely. Now on this sheet, so you've got the topper, you've got this piece that we've used. Then all the best has been glued here and left unattached on the edge. I like how she's angled her bow. This again is using the brown ribbon set and of course the bow maker. She just zotted it right at the upper corner of that greeting. So we can see all the best to someone special as the card is closed, so that's nice. Then when we open up the card, have barrels of fun on your special day, and this is foam taped in place. So just does a really nice job. So you get a unique looking card with not a whole lot of effort, which is really sometimes very nice. So many techniques that Heidi has shared. I appreciate that. Now this is from Raise a Glass. This is a whopper topper pad, and then also paired with the textile, fabrics, and fibers. And we get these 8x8 paper collections from Hunkydory pretty regularly, and I thought it was fun to really just focus on one and pair it with the toppers pad to let you see some things that you can do. Okay, well, if you are watching this on YouTube, we hope that you will subscribe to us on that. Then head on over to Paper Wishes where you can buy these. You can also see the directions. Again, they're down below. There is also a money saver. You know, here at Paper Wishes, we really want to watch your wallet and help you with that. So the money savers are just one way that we do that. They're always located on the right side of your screen, and they are this time too. So if you want to get both of them, you're going to get a bit of a savings. You can buy them separately too, whatever you like. In any case, you can get the directions down below, just like I showed you. Okay, I want to thank Heidi for doing a very creative job. I'm going to remember all of those techniques, and I think I'll print these off just to make sure that I do remember them. I want to thank her for doing that for us. I want to thank you especially for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.